Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Silver Lining. I am your host, Juliette Valle, Miss South Florida Fair 2020, and I am so excited today because I have a lovely guest on my show. Please welcome Miss Maryland 2020, Allison Redman. Hi, Allison.
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to have a conversation with you and be on your show.
Thank you so much for being here. I know you have a very busy schedule, so I'm really grateful that you're being so generous with your time. And I have a ton of questions for you if you're ready.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get to it.
Great. So my first question for you is one and how you first got involved with the Miss America organization. And what do you believe you learned in those first few years that led you to your Miss Maryland win?
So I think I was intrigued with pageants when I was in high school, but I really never knew how to get involved with it. So I had graduated from high school and now I'm attending college. And I felt at the time that I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. And I felt like I didn't have very much direction and that I needed to be a part of something that gave me that. And someone once told me to surround myself with people that I want to be just like. And as I did more research into the pageants, it's more than just the way that we look or how tiny our waistline is, right? Even you know that. These girls are so educated. These girls do so much community service and they are had just so much impact. And I knew that was something I wanted to be a part of immediately. So I had signed up for my first pageant, the Miss America organization, and I didn't win. And then I signed up again and I didn't win. And then I signed up again and I didn't win a local title. So I initially thought after that year that maybe this pageant thing really isn't for me. But someone had encouraged me to come back, and I actually won my very first local title in the program the following year. And I was so happy that I was like finally part of this great organization. And throughout my years, I have built networks. I've learned a lot about the program and the volunteers and how much time they dedicate to the program and developing women to be better leaders of tomorrow, like Miss America vision right now. And that was just very inspiring for me.
I absolutely love that. And I love, you said a couple of great things in there, but one of the things that you said right off the bat was, you tend to surround yourself with people you want to be just like. I think that's why so many of us enter the Miss America organization because we want to be around these accomplished women or former title holders or people currently competing or even current title holders that are very inspiring, very much like your class. So I absolutely love that you said that. And I love hearing about how you first got involved with the pageant. And I also like that you said that it's not just about the way girls look or, how they talk or how poised they are. It's so much more than that. These women are educated and very special. And so I'm really happy you touched on that. And there's really no one better to advocate for that very point of Miss America than a current state title holder. So I love that you mentioned that because I think a lot of people definitely overlook that part of pageantry.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think being part of, you know, in this health crisis right now, you can see title holders all over the country doing so much more with social media and posting about their community service projects or things about just being involved. And I think that's so important too. And I think it also helped, give the public another view of what we do.
Mhm. I completely agree. And you guys have been such a beacon of light for everybody. I mean, I'm actually looking through your social media right now and just, I mean, I stalk you guys, all of you guys, because, we want to be you, right? And I have to do my
Yeah.
research. I'm a total stalker. I've gotten really good at it throughout my beginning of the show. But anyway, it's just, you're so positive and so encouraging, and people, even outside of the Miss America realm, are bound to be so inspired by that. So you guys are really doing an excellent job. So now my next question for you is, how many titles did you serve under the Miss Maryland organization, and how do you believe those years of service shaped you as a person?
So I held 3 titles. Again, my very first year in the program, I didn't win a title at all, but that year was still very impactful for me because I got to know more about the Miss America program, what the mission was, what the volunteers did, what the board does, and how much dedicated time that these girls put into, wanting to be the state title holder or just winning a local title. For me, when I had joined the program, you know, my dream was just to be a local title holder and, you know, be a part of my community and do community service and network with businesses and organizations around where I live. But little did I know, right after winning a local title, it's like you always want more, you always want more. And so then my dream was to become Miss Maryland and have a bigger impact in my state and connect with others. And, you know, this program has given me so much direction. It has helped me become, you know, a better person, a better speaker, and honestly, maybe even more independent.
Mhm. Definitely. I mean, you guys, I mean, I'm sure with COVID, things have been a little bit different, but I don't know what the situation is like in Maryland with COVID. But perhaps you've done some in person appearances, socially distanced, maybe it's mostly online. You can elaborate on that. But either way, you're handling yourself. You know, it's a very independent job, it's a very hard job. You know, you're spending a year either physically traveling around your state or just going to different functions or catering to different events. It's a really tough job, even if it's in an online setting during this really weird time where all title holders, even if they're on a smaller scale, are experiencing the same thing. And so, I mean, I admire you guys a lot, and I just think that this job, a lot of people don't give you guys credit for how much work you do and how hard it really truly is.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. You know, when we go to our appearances, most of the time, you know, I'm there by myself or I might have somebody accompanying me. But, you know, it's really about as a title holder, you initiate the conversation. They're waiting for you and they're expecting, you know, they're expecting a certain person to be there. So it's like you kind of have to you have to become, you know, your title. You have to be that person that they're expecting to be, which I think can be like, you know, kind of a funny way to think about it. But even as a local title holder, I always thought, you know, girls are being crowned Miss Maryland, but by the end of the year, they have become Miss Maryland and they are Miss Maryland. And that's exactly who I want to be. I always wanted to be that girl. I always wanted to become that role and be her. And so I think, you know, being title holders, it helps us become a person that we want to be that and like we strive to be.
Exactly. And like you said, it connects to one of your first statements that I touched on. You surrounded yourself by people that you wanted to be like when you entered this organization and then you became Miss Maryland. So it's a very full circle moment. And that's what I find so inspiring. I mean, that's essentially why I created this show. You kind of hit it right on the head. You know, you go through this process, this difficult process where you mentioned you lost locals too, which by the way, I love that honesty. Because I mean, I have seen so many girls much like yourself on this show who are state winners, and winning a state is really hard, just like winning a local is hard, but it's extra hard. Right? And you would think that these girls are also amazing and they probably won like that, but I've had girls that won on their first try, and I had girls that competed in 18 locals before they won their first one. So you know, it's every girl is different, but the journey is so worth it. And it's just so great to see how much this organization has shaped you and changed you. And like you said, you become Miss Maryland. In the beginning, you win the crown and you are Miss Maryland and you're being Miss Maryland and you're becoming Miss Maryland. But by the end, you have like made a full circle transformation.
Yeah, exactly.
So you also mentioned that the girls in the Miss America organization are very educated, which is true. The Miss America organization is the largest scholarship provider for women in the world. And so that's pretty amazing. And of course, that means you're one of the many educated women that's received money from Miss America. And so I'm wondering what school you went to and what you majored in and what you hope to do with that career path.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as I mentioned at the beginning, I felt after graduating from high school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I had felt like I had no direction. So I had just went to my local community college and, you know, took some general courses. And one of the teachers that I had such an impact on me that I actually wanted to start majoring in mathematics. And if you know me, I hated math in high school. I it was probably my worst class ever, but she made me love it. She made it more of like a puzzle. She made it more fun. And then I came across this book called Math Doesn't Suck.
Allison, you're muted. I'm sorry. I don't
Ah,
know how that happened. No, it's okay. I can edit it anyway because I'm gonna rewatch it. So I left off at the part where anyone knows me that I knows I hate math. Could you go from there? I could just edit it. It's fine.
Okay, I can start over. Wait, what was the question again?
No, it's fine. You were talking about how a teacher had such an impact on you that you began to major in math, and
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay. So in one of my math courses, my teacher was very inspiring, and she gave me that direction that I needed. And so that's why I think going to community college was one of the best choices for me. So she made math very relatable, and she made math very much like a puzzle. And then I came across this book called Math Doesn't Suck by Danica McKellar, I think Danica McKellar. And she relates math back to, like, the things that I like. I love to shop. I love clothes. I love, being on the internet and things like that. So she relates math to all those things, and it makes it so much more fun. And so after that, I'm also a violinist. I attended Towson University to study music and play the violin. I also majored in mathematics as well. And yes, that's extremely tough. But ultimately, I graduated Towson with a degree in music. And so what I'm working, my career right now has nothing related to being a violinist. And really not right now. It doesn't have anything to do with mathematics either. So I applied for this internship kind of on a whim because I needed a job at the time. It was the summer. And, like in the summer as college students, we're kind of broke. So we
oh
also
girl, yes, yeah.
do. So I applied for this internship, and, I got it. I had no idea what I was doing the very first day. Honestly, I thought I had to wear a lab coat. And I get there and I'm like working an office job. I was like, oh, thank God, because I was not prepared for what I was like, thought I was going to do, what I had like made up in my mind. So I get there and then I realize I'm working in a human resource office. And and it was another full circle moment because, through pageants, I've been connecting with people. I've been doing community service, and I knew I always loved working with people and being around people and getting to know them. So human resources, I knew automatically that first day, I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to help people. I want to,
Amazing.
create opportunities for people. I want to help people like develop into who they want to be, or like give them the resources they need to be who they want to be or take their career where they want to. So ever since that job, I have dedicated my time to being a human resources analyst. And right now, currently, I'm attending Drexel University and I'm studying human resource management.
That is amazing. And that's so cool that you are so versatile and studied so many different things and are still exploring new options in your career. And furthermore, going back to school to, get more education, which is just honestly incredible. And I am happy to know that I hope that some of your scholarship earnings are helping ease the blow of student debt because it is very, very real, as we all know.
Yes, absolutely. That's why I'm so thankful for being part of the Miss America organization. Not only did I create friends, network with people, I'm also being helped with my school and like wanting to further develop myself. And so that's just like, it's another full circle moment. It's like, oh, I love working with people, developing people. And, Miss America is developing us. Miss America
Exactly.
is creating women to become leaders. And I think that's so inspirational because, we as women, we do need to take up space in this world, and we need to make this, we belong in all the places that men belong in.
Girl, they would be nothing without us. Are you kidding me? We need to just keep the order.
Yeah, who run the world, girls.
That's my jam right there. I got it. So that is absolutely incredible. And you also mentioned that you're a violinist and that was your talent for Miss America. And so I'm wondering when you first began playing and what piece did you perform at Miss Maryland and why did you perform it?
So I'll let you in on a little secret.
Ooh.
So I started playing the violin when I was in fourth grade. I actually didn't want to play the violin at all. I wanted to play the clarinet. I wanted to be in the band. And my friend, my best friend at the time, she was playing the violin. And, she was convincing me. She was like, you have to play, you have to play. And I was like, no, I'm not going to play the violin. I'm going to do the clarinet. But, please take me to the music teacher so I can sign up. So I go, she takes me over to the music teacher and I tell him, I said, hey, I really want to play the clarinet. And unfortunately, there wasn't any space in the band in my elementary school because I was kind of late to signing up. But he said, you can play the violin. So I said, no, I didn't. But he convinced me that, violin was going to be, the best option if I wanted to be in the music program. And honestly, he was right. From that day forward, I've been a violinist ever since. And again, this is another moment where you play your first song and then it's like you want to be better and your goals get bigger. I remember, going through grade school, I would sit, you progress in the orchestra. So, you have your first violins and your second violins.
Mhm.
And, I would sit second chair or not second chair, I would be in the second violin section. And I always told myself, I was like, one day I want to play in the first violin section. I want to be just as good as those players. And, eventually I did become in the first violin section. Well, then my goals got even bigger. And I knew I wanted to be a leader. I knew I wanted to be one day be the concertmaster of the orchestra.
Yes,
When
girl.
I attended Towson University, that goal of mine, I finally achieved it. And I was now the concertmaster of the orchestra. And that was such a great time in my life because it gave me the opportunity to be a leader, to lead others and, impact those players and help them become better and develop their playing. So that has always been, I think that is the core of who I am as a person. I always want to make other people better. I never want people to feel like, they can't achieve it. We all go through the same stages. It's just a matter of how long we stay in those stages, how fast we get through them. And sometimes it's different for everybody.
Exactly. And, like you said, you are a leader. You want to see people succeed. That's why you have a career in human resources where you're also helping people. And then your example just prior is another, way that you are helping people achieve their dreams and be their best selves. And also being a leader is your position, being Miss Maryland. That's what you girls are leaders. And there are certain qualities that a winner has to possess in order to be an excellent leader. So I think it's absolutely inspiring and just a testament to what it really requires besides being able to have a talent like you do and besides being smart and having a degree, which you also have, and the looks, which you have. It's more than that. It's being able to be a leader and having those qualities that show I'll be able to fulfill the job during the year. So I absolutely love that answer. And I think that being a leader is one of the best qualities a girl in general can have.
Yeah. And I also think, during COVID and this whole crisis, we're very limited in what we can do as title holders. And so, I have really dedicated my time being Miss Maryland to the girls in the program, or let me rather I say the women in the program. Because at the end of the day, it's not about just wearing like your crown and your sash and doing the community service. We are a sisterhood, and I think it's important to make those girls feel important, remind them that you do have a sense of purpose. You're here for a reason because you are a great woman. You do like so much for your community, and I just love to remind them of that and encourage them and still be a part of the program and make friends because that's what it's all about.
Yes, definitely. And the sisterhood aspect, am a sophomore in college and I haven't done a sorority, and not because there's anything wrong with sororities, they're great, but I just already feel like I'm in a sorority through pageantry. So, but the
Yeah,
sisterhood is
we're in the biggest sorority in America.
I mean, literally, and the best. But yes, sisters, all like all of us, even though you're in Maryland, I'm like, I'm Miss Maryland 2020 is technically my sister queen. So I can say that. Automatically cool. And speaking of being Miss Maryland 2020, I want to know about your crowning. I know that this year has been unconventional, and perhaps your crowning was unconventional. I'm not sure because I've heard that sometimes either the crown is passed down for the 2019 winner, or some states have held pageants even during this time of COVID. So I'm wondering what your crowning moment was like, and furthermore, how you felt when you were crowned Miss Maryland. Because besides the specifics, that to me is the most important part.
Yeah, so because I'm a 2020 title holder, the crown was passed down to me from the 2019 winner. But when they announced me as Miss Maryland, I was very ecstatic. I was so happy. And honestly, I was quite frankly pretty proud of myself. Like, wow, this is another goal of mine that I have finally achieved. And, as humans, we all want to be recognized for our efforts and what
Of
we
course.
do. And so, that was another thing for me that, being Miss Maryland, I was being recognized for all the effort that I've put in. Because, throughout the years, the community service, the driving, the practice, I was literally studying the news all the time, forming my own opinions, calling friends and doing interview practice just to work on my speaking skills and, be poised and be that person, be Miss Maryland. So I was very, very ecstatic when they announced me in this role. And because it is during COVID times, I've mentioned, throughout this interview about like being a leader. And when I was this summer, I took a leadership course at Drexel University, and it was almost like being Miss Maryland was like an internship. I was able to take the knowledge that I was learning in my leadership class and apply those to being Miss Maryland and applying that to, my class of women who are going to go on to the crown.
You're inspiring me now. I want to take a leadership course. And I mean, that is absolutely amazing and obviously a well deserved title. And I am just so proud of you, so happy for you. And I mean, again, very impressed that you're taking yet another course at yet another university. This girl just loves school, unlike many people. But I like school, so I relate. Not math, but I like school.
Yeah.
So
And, as title holders, ultimately, I remember being a local title holder. And I promised myself if I ever became Miss Maryland that I wanted to be, that mentor, that friend, that person that I needed as a local title holder. Because when I joined the program, I knew nothing about pageants. I kind of just like, oh, I'm going to dip my toes in this and see what happens. But I never really had that person to, guide me through everything like that close, like other pageant friend, because I was very new. So I always promised myself if I became Miss Maryland that I would be that mentor, that friend, that leader that I needed when I first joined the program.
I absolutely love that. And I think that the girls that are the current state title holders, like we have our Miss Florida 2019, Michaela McLean, they are leaders and they are what we aspire to. But it's not even just limited to our state. Like I am inspired by you, I'm inspired by all the girls I interview. So you guys are really inspirations to us and to people that are from your state or outside the pageant world. And just so many people look up to you more than you'll probably ever know because being on social media, being out there, it's just so many people are viewing you. It's hard to count, it's hard to know, but it's a big responsibility and you are a leader and you're doing a really, really great job.
Thank you. You as well.
So now I want to know about your platform. It's clear to see that you're someone that likes to give back. You've done it in your career, you've done it through your years of service in the Miss Maryland organization. And now I'm wondering what is the cause that is most important to you?
So music has always been a very huge part of my life growing up. And then even when COVID happened and we're in this pandemic, the arts is so important. So many people are being creative on social media. I think everybody hears music or some kind of art just like watching TV, those skits and those episodes or those series, those are all because of like artists, writers, people who put the scenes together. That's all art. So my platform is all about it's called the Treble Is, keeping the music alive. So it is very specific to music, but honestly, I advocate for all the arts because art is just so important.
It really is.
Yeah. So what I do with my platform is I usually visit orchestras and I help, younger children with their instruments. I help them, play music and I even, lead them and teach them how to be leaders in their sections. Even if they're not, the first chair, first violinist or like the first chair, second violinist, you don't have to be in the leadership position to know to be a leader or to inspire your stand partner. So I think that's so important to communicate that to the students and also remind them that, yeah, that person might be better than you, but guess what? You're going to get to that. You're going to achieve that as well. You're going to be just as good as them one day as well. So I try to inspire them to not be discouraged, but, take those characteristics of somebody else and and apply it to themselves and say like I can do that too. So that's something that I do with my platform. And then I also teach violin lessons to students as well who want to be better players.
That is amazing. I wish I had you as a music teacher in my school because that you just sound so amazing. And I was actually thinking about this the other day, and I used to be a ballerina growing up, and that was like my dream career until I realized that there are girls that are just far more naturally talented than me, which is okay. But I was so discouraged by teachers that would be like, oh, there's always going to be someone better than you. But I would always think, but what if you want to be the best? Like, what if you want to be that person? So I love that you acknowledge that, yes, there are really talented people out there, and sometimes it's effortless, and sometimes they're just really, really good. Sometimes they've had resources, but you can get better. That's way more motivating than I think a lot of other approaches that we see. And I think all teachers are amazing. There's really no shade, but I just love
Yeah.
that we're motivating kids to reach their fullest potential and not telling them that they are not the best, but that they can be the best. I just love that. And also, the arts are so important. And I just do want to touch on what you said. It's not just music that you're focusing on, it's all arts. And during this pandemic where we've all been locked in the house for quite a long time, the first thing that we turned to was artists for music or TV shows or movies just to help us cope, to keep us entertained. And although it seems like kind of something that is always going to be there and that we take for granted, we haven't had a TV show or movie really come out as of late because people aren't able to be together as much or not able to go outside or use sets and whatnot. And so I think that arts is so important. The arts is so important, rather. And I'm just really praying for artists right now because it's a difficult time for them. But I'm happy to know that you're advocating for the arts for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I am always, wanting students to be the best they can be. And it doesn't have to be through the arts, but just for my platform, I specifically do the arts.
I absolutely love that. And you seem like an amazing teacher. So I wish you taught at my school. It would have been so much more fun. Okay. So now my show's title is called The Silver Lining. And I am wondering, Allison, because you are a title holder during this particularly weird time of COVID-19, we talked a little bit before our interview, and you're a 2020 title holder. So most of your reign, if not your entire reign, has been done during this pandemic. Yeah, I guess your entire reign, and you've been probably doing a lot of appearances online or just socially distanced, and it's been very different. It has not been typical in any way. I'll give you that. Besides the fact that you are in a leadership role, and that's been a consistent thing throughout any title holder's career. However, you're dealing with very unique circumstances. So, with that said, I'm wondering, what is the silver lining to being a title holder during this pandemic? What is the best part of handling this challenge to you?
It's certainly, not the Miss Maryland year that, previous girls have had before me, but I think that's also what makes it so special because, I as Miss Maryland, I'm playing a different role. And because of technology and the increased use of social media, there's things that I need to find to be more creative
Mhm.
with my following or with the girls and like trying to keep everybody involved doing Zoom calls. Um so I definitely have to be way more creative, but honestly, I love it because I feel that the organization has encouraged all girls across the country to connect with each other. Like, for example, you're living in Florida, and I don't think we ever would have connected if it wasn't because of the pandemic. So
Exactly.
honestly, I think that is the silver lining. Girls are connecting with each other all across the country, and that is so important. And I love that. That's just one of my favorite, aspects of this whole year. And then again, also, really focusing on, the Miss Maryland girls who will compete for the title in hopefully June.
Well, I think that you are absolutely incredible. You are an incredible title holder, an incredible person, and it's been so inspiring interviewing you. Again, I am very proud of you. And yes, I'm happy we got to connect because if we hadn't had this unique circumstance, we probably would have not. So that's a silver lining for me as well. And like you said, you've been forced to be creative. I've been forced to be creative. I never would have created the show had
Mhm.
COVID-19 not happened. So, of course, I'm not grateful for the pandemic, obviously, but I am grateful for the outcome that I was able to create, and you as well. Like I said before, I was looking at your social media, reviewing it as we were chatting and beforehand, and you really have done a great job of keeping up with it. And it's not easy, especially when you're housebound a lot of the time, to come up with new ideas. You're not constantly outside, you're not constantly interacting with people in person. And you constantly don't have people taking photos of you. So it's even hard to get good content that way.
It can be discouraging, yes.
Yes, you're like by yourself with your ring light crying, and you're like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I'm so either very self-absorbed or very desperate. I've been there, but I just think you're doing a great job, and I think you are incredibly inspiring, and it's a testament to, even when this pandemic is over, which it will be over, this too shall pass. I hate when people say it won't, because it will, although it is very serious. But it's just a testament to, no matter what challenges a title holder may face, or a leader like yourself may face, you have to power through, and you have to figure out a way to make it out and make it the best it can be. You have to be creative, and you've done just that. So I think that's not only a silver lining, but just a little nugget of wisdom that you've shared amongst the many, testaments you've shared about your journey to the Miss Maryland crown. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. And, I've always lived my life, if there's a bad situation or something that, you know, is negative to you, there's always going to be a positive side. Find that silver lining, because there always is a silver lining, and you can learn so much from either your failures or bad situations.
Girl, I've had plenty of those. So I have a lot that I've learned. And, everyone has those. So take your failures in stride and just
Absolutely.
learn from them. Allison, it's been an absolute blast to talk to you. And I'm just so grateful that we got to chat. I feel very inspired. I'm actually going to look up a leadership course, and I feel like my viewers probably will too. You guys need to keep up with Allison on social media. As I've mentioned, her social media is pretty great. I will put it down in the description, and just make sure you guys support her, and shameless plug, support me. And I hope you all are having a great 2021. And once again, Allison, thank you for being so generous with your time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into my channel today. Your support means the world to me. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to my channel and like and comment on my videos, because your support is what fuels my ability to make content. I'll see you guys next time, and once again, thanks for joining me for another episode of The Silver Lining. Love you guys. Bye!